Hey everybody, I just got a random question, which some people may or may not agree with what I'm about to ask or what I'm about to say, but we've all seen the news and what's been going on with the pandemic since day one. And it's affected everybody in different ways. Some people have just given up hope, whereas other people are being pushed to give up hope. Now, I'm one of those. I believe in fighting for what I believe, and I refuse to I just won't stand down. I refuse to give up because I feel like if you give up, if you fall for anything, then people control you, which people already control you in so many ways of speaking. But this pandemic first affected me with my children. I have 3 children going to 3 different schools, and then they hit me with the whole traditional schooling, virtual schooling, and I was trying to work at the same time, and I'm like, how can I be back and forth in 3 different places at the same time and keep a job? And one school, my youngest daughter's school, was like, oh, we only have so many tablets to go around, and so my husband's working, I'm working. Some children in school, some children out of school. We were literally taking turns staying home until he finally said, well, hey, you make the most money, I'll stay home. So he's home with my girls. They were back and forth, just pretty much virtual, non-virtual. So I decided to take it upon myself and homeschool my 2 youngest daughters. My oldest daughter is about to graduate. So, okay, I went on and sent her to my mother's school because she's a teacher and she can do the back and forth virtual traditional school thing with her. And it is real hectic. But at the same time, I'm like, I had to do what I had to do. So I'm currently homeschooling my 2 youngest daughters. And then the job situation hit me. Oh, the mandate, either get fired or get vaccinated. Now, everybody's entitled to believe whatever they believe, feel the way they want to feel. I chose to opt out of this vaccination. So, of course, I was let go. Yes, it was my choice, but so many people at that job facility was asking me if I knew any other route, a way to get around this. And I'm like, no, I don't. But I do know living through life, there's always a loophole. However, people are so afraid to sacrifice the things that they've become used to. It's almost like you're programmed to stay in whatever system you're in. So, of course, nobody wants to leave their job. They've been there for so long. Some people approaching retirement. And then other people, that's all they know how to do. And a lot of people are afraid to educate themselves on other options. So I'm just not that type of person. So, I'm also not afraid to lose things, because where you lose one thing, if you work hard enough, something else will open and there will be another door open. I let the job go. I did let it go because it was just so many things that was already going wrong with it. And I was like, is it really worth it? I'm home with my girls. My husband is now working, and I'm able to homeschool my 2 daughters. However, this situation with the way people were thinking kind of hit me. I'm like, these people were so afraid. It reminded me of livestock going to be butchered, and they're in some deep panic because they don't know what's going on, but at the same time, they're all being rounded up into this one area for whatever reason, for the inevitable. And people shouldn't feel like that. With this whole freedom of choice thing that they claim we still have, I don't believe it. I believe in it, but I don't believe that's what we have anymore. There is no freedom of choice. So my question is, do you really want your children living like that? Do you want to teach your children, if you just go with the flow of things, your life will be easy? Just go with it. Sit down, be humble, go with it. Me, I don't want my children living like that. I want my children to do the things that they're good at doing, to learn the things they want to learn. There are things that schools teach that people nowadays in this world that we live in, that we have to learn, that we have to know because that's the way things are. But what happened to simple things like art? I used to like rocks when I was younger. I feel like if I had been taught about lapidary skills and geology and more things on rocks and, terra firma, I would be a completely different person. But that's the things I was interested in when I was little. I have a daughter. She likes to draw. She likes to doodle. I think she's pretty darn good at it. Do I tell her, hey, you can't do that until you do your work? No. I tell her, draw along with your work. So homeschooling, art is a part of her class in my curriculum. I just added that on with it. My other daughter, I mean, the things that children like, I feel like we should not dampen their dreams. Because a child without dreams, I mean, what is that? It's like a blank slate. Your children should be free to dream, free to explore, learn on the things that they're curious about. I mean, there's such a big world out there, and we might be afraid of it. We might be afraid of exploring and adventuring and trying new things, but children are so open and so pure, and it just hurts me. It just hurts me to think that this world is not what they think it is. And I want to show them through the simplest form of videos and knowledge. And I'm not a teacher. I'm not I'm not trying to say I'm a teacher. I cannot teach, certain academics because I'm not qualified for that. But at the same time, the entertainment that we have nowadays is low down, horrible, mind-blowing crap. The things on TikTok, YouTube, television, the things that these pure-minded children are watching now, how detrimental is that to them? I mean, they're sucking all this stuff in like a sponge, and all you're hearing is negativity and, oh, you need to think this, you need to think that, because these people, it's always the blame game and right and wrong, but it's mostly wrong and negative stuff. And I'm like, is this what you really want your children tuned into all day, every day? All because you're too busy working in the system and your children are home or wherever on some device looking at Lord knows what. So why wouldn't you want your children learning? I mean, of course, children don't like school, not per se. But why wouldn't you want your children listening and tuned into something that could help them explore the things that are interesting to them in a positive way? Why not feed your children positivity, entertaining things? How many children know about story time? Back in the day, we sat down in a circle in front of our teachers and we had story time. Do they even do that in school anymore? After a certain age, they don't even have that anymore. They're like, here, read this. Here, read that. I know with the little children, yes, there's story time, maybe. But there's so many other things. They just plug it in, you listen to ebooks and go about their business. But what about somebody sitting there reading, showing pictures? You read the book, you show it to the child. Hey, a little more person-on-person interaction. And I want to find a way to provide that. Puppet shows, story time. I mean, not Sesame Street, but at the same time, it's something that's been lost over time. And this digital world is blinding people to it. And I feel like if you don't want your children growing up blind, if you don't want them blocked off to possibilities in life, blocked off from their dreams, I'm going to try to find a way. There has to be a way. And if anybody has any suggestions on what type of things that, I don't know, I mean, children are interested in anything, any and everything. But I feel like if I knew where to start with just opening children's minds to better things, I will provide that. I want to help provide that. I'm not going to say I'm the only one. I don't want to be the only one. It's like I don't want that burden on my shoulders, but at the same time, I'm willing to be that martyr. And if y'all are with me, I mean, just let me know what you think, okay? And I love y'all. Later. You'll see more of me.